What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to another news video for crowdfunded board games. I have some brand new games that are just announced, some big IP ones. I have some updates, some crazy spreadsheets where these games are huge. I gotta tell you, they're really, really big. There's some new sci-fi stuff, there's some fantasy stuff, there's everything in between. There's a ton to show here, so let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, now I even have a small update around Mythic Games kind of towards the end, so I guess stay tuned for that. But honestly, there's a lot. There's a lot to go over. I haven't done this in a fair bit, so some of these are like, hey, guess what? This is like last minute, and some are actually still have almost a month to go. We got short campaigns, long campaigns, everything in between. Let's dive in. All right, starting things out with Terminus Frontier, cooperative tactical adventure board game. This is actually looking kind of interesting. So it's raised 131,414, has 586 backers, and still 24 days to go. Now, obviously, for an indie company such as Forge-born Games, they definitely want to hit that 1,000 backers, though obviously they still have a month to do it. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a small thing. Either way, they're at least funded, at least according to the goal of 75,000. That's obviously not enough to actually fund it all, but who knows where all the other money's coming from, if there is any. Sometimes that's the case, sometimes there's not. What I can say here is the game looks like it's a pretty unique style, which I kind of like, at least on how it actually kind of looks and plays. I'll talk about it the combination of things here, but it's also obviously very indie. Now, that being said, there's indie as in like, what the heck are you doing? I have a one coming up around that. And then there's indie as in like, this is like an honest indie effort that looks like they really, really tried. So for instance, if you watch this video, you're going to see that they used their like really crappy primed 3D printed minis, but the shots and the animation, all that, like they're putting a lot of effort into it with what they have, and I really, really kind of dig that. I've seen a lot of advertisements for this on my Facebook feed. I don't know how much money or they're paying for that, or whether or not they're just like, hey, you're the kind of guy, which I am, right? So either way, mission accomplished. Terminus Frontier. Now, this has, as you can see, a few different things. It has 3D terrain, which is kind of interesting. It's got some minis and some standees. And in fact, it even has like these renders look great, right? Now, how these will look in the final production, I don't know. But the renders also look better than the crappy 3D printed, heavily primed stuff that they had here. It's probably somewhere in between, I would imagine. But normally, you're going in this kind of like grid-based skirmish style kind of game, but you're fighting against, like a whole bunch of like standee people and stuff like that, though there is a miniature box version of that. But one of the cool things, so like that's straightforward, right? But then they also have, and this is really, really cool, this is some of the stretch goals and stuff like that. See, there's like the standees that I'm talking about, right? When you have the different enemies here. This open world space exploration. There's actually a GIF. Let me go and show you. Even like boss battles and stuff looks pretty cool. So if we scroll down here, by the way, this might look kind of similar. And look at this. The guest designer, Rogue Angels. That's freaking awesome. I think that's really cool. Very cool indie game. So these are indie people helping each other in almost kind of a similar Mass Effect-y kind of, high sci-fi kind of way. They like to add cloaks because cloaks are cool. And so, or like jackets or whatever, either way, it's got to be flowing in the wind. The metal plus the brown, it's a very cool combo. It always is. This is like some like beefed up raiding kind of guy. I dig it. Again, with the capes, that's very important. You got to have that to be cool. All right, so this is some of the gameplay, right? And you can obviously look into this, but one of the interesting things here is this space exploration combined with that. As you can see, you actually put it in like a normal like card protector binder, and you actually like move around like that, which is actually kind of cool. I actually really dig that. It's a way to have a big map, but at the same time kind of pack it up, keep it organized. I think that's neat. I think that's actually pretty darn cool. Now, if you look at price here, I'm going to go and scroll down a little bit. Obviously, the minis are pretty cool, and they do come with this kind of sculpted terrain, which is also neat. And some of the minis are quite dynamic, as you can see as well. So you get, for 125, you get the 4 minis here, the kind of the characters, right? Plus everything that you need for all of that, right? Upgrade cards, all these different kind of things. a whole lot of standees, 58 of them that you can replace, and then a whole bunch of 133 gear, 88 weapons. There's a huge amount of loot. This is obviously very loot driven here, which is pretty cool. A whole lot of different map tiles, overlays, terrain, stuff like that. So it's combining the kind of thematic battles with a more abstract, expansive space exploration, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's kind of neat. Okay, so, and again, a whole lot of different stuff here. Secret intel boxes, all kinds of stuff, right? The miniature box here actually contains, that's what, the boss and stuff. And honestly, if you're fighting a boss, you kind of want the minis there. It would have been nice, I think, to have the boss minis in the core game. But either way, that is an extra thing here. And then, of course, you get repeated. So these are repeats, right, of the kind of the enemies here. And then you can also get the terrain, some of the terrain in 3D as well. So $125 for the base one. For the minis plus that's $225. And this is something you're going to see with a lot of these indies, especially with smaller print runs. They're a little bit more pricey, right? They're not able to get a better deal at the factory. And often that is because they don't have the quantity, right? If you're a factory owner and somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to print a game. This game is going to be in retail. It's going to be 100,000 copies, and I'm actually going to be printing this for the next 10 years, right? I'll have repeated orders kind of over time. You're like, sold. Yeah, how can we work together? Because I want to be able to use those steel molds that I'm making to their fullest and keep you as a customer over and over and over again. Versus, hey, I might be able to order your minimum amount of 1,000, and I'll probably only do it once, right? Obviously, you're going to get cut a deal on one versus the other. This is something that is the practicality of actually manufacturing versus just consumers buying stuff, right? And that's typically the case there when it comes to that. So these are going to ride a little bit higher. $225 is a fairly high for the everything. The stuff that you get, like all the cards, all the minis, that's not too bad, I suppose. But a lot of the repeats kind of hurt the cost thing of that. It is kind of pricey. And then $335 to get absolutely everything there. And then you can get, the ultimate super duper cool thing, the investor, which is kind of fun. I would caution against necessarily saying investor on Kickstarter, but whatever. Now, there is one other cool thing here. It's way the heck down here. Way down here. Oh, let's see. Where is it? All the way. Guys, it is so far down. This is ridiculous. This should not have put this far down, I feel. Okay, yeah, artwork, meet our team. That's lovely. All right, I found it. It's such a small section. It really sucks that Kickstarter sucks, and it sucks that sometimes the campaigns aren't made in the way that I would necessarily make them. So here, Pledge Overtime is available. They are one of the first creators to offer Kickstarter's new feature that allows backers to split their pledge into 4 equal payments. Now, are they advertising that anywhere else but here? No. Does Kickstarter suck at even being years behind GameFound? Yes. So not only do you have to do the whole pledge here, right? But then when you do that, it's only after you click the pledge button that then you can pledge over 4 times. There's no way to see that ahead of time. There's no way to advertise that very well. Besides some visuals on your little tiny section here in the middle, because it's not here. But you can actually split even the 125 into 4 payments. I think that's pretty cool. I'm glad Kickstarter is adding that. Anytime there's options for backers, I think that's great. And hopefully that works out pretty well and makes it a little bit easier to perhaps invest in this game. Invest, again, used a little loosely here. I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely unique. Okay. We're going to take a pit stop to show you that Into the AM, which is a sponsor of the channel, not necessarily this specific video, though I am wearing one of their shirts. They fit great, they feel great, they're awesome, is making jeans. I am a jeans kind of guy. Every single day, I'm wearing jeans, unless I'm wearing some of their awesome jogger stuff, or I'm wearing their all-day pants from work, and I just keep them on. But these jeans, looking pretty sweet. Definitely excited about that. Oh, and they have a new skull with a crown, practically on brand for me. I think that looks awesome. Definitely one of the cooler shirts I've seen in a while from them. Okay, now, Earth Under Siege. Going from Mass Effect sci-fi style game to Mass Effect sci-fi style game. So this one's more XCOM because it's got the stealth and a whole lot of interesting things around that. So it's kind of the stealth action, right? Earth Under Siege Flashpoint has a new Nemesis expansion. This is wrapping up. It's got 3 days left at the time of recording, so probably about 2 days left by the time you watch this. This is your 48-hour reminder. If you missed it, I'm sorry. Please subscribe. You can see stuff just like this all the time. I make it at least twice a month, thereabout, at this point, where I'm trying to kind of gather everything. And that kind of allows me to show ending and beginning of these campaigns and some of the reveals which are coming up. They're super cool. All right, so really the only big thing here, besides the fact that you can get a great game again, which is awesome. I love the reprint. I'm glad they did well. I really am. They definitely deserve it. Okay, so if we scroll down to the Nemesis, the Nemesis content, you can see all the stuff here. Very, very cool minis, very cool boss battle style kind of Nemesis stuff, which is cool. And you get, the campaign book and resource cards and tiles and everything you need for them, which is pretty neat, I think. The daily unlocks, you already got like a new operative, a lot of 3D tokens. This is the old style of campaigns. Back in the day, if you recall, you would back a board game and they would just pimp it out with all the stretch goals. You'd get the 3D tokens, you'd get the sleeves, you'd get all this other kind of stuff. Well, look at this. Sleeves, new gears, new items, new operative, 3D tokens. I love it. I think that's great. This is exactly the kind of stuff I want to see for stretch goals. I think it's great. That's super awesome. Now, if you want everything they've ever made, that's $482. That's 2 campaigns worth of stuff. You don't necessarily need that. $60 gets you the new Nemesis expansion plus the update pack. So what's included in the update pack? I didn't read through everything, so feel free to check the link down in the description below to this and everything else, plus more. There's actually more than this video posted down there, including a lot of long-reaching kind of stuff that's still coming out this year, next year, stuff like that. So seriously, down in the description below, go ahead and check it out. But otherwise, you can get the combination of it right here. So 270 gets you all of the new stuff plus all the old stuff for the gameplay related, right? So this is everything gameplay related. About 270. Not too bad for essentially 2 campaigns worth of stuff. And again, this was well received. It looks like it delivered quite well. Looks pretty darn cool. I'm excited for it. These minis, by the way, they look pretty cool stylized. Obviously, these are renders, right? For instance, this blade is way too skinny. They'll have to thicken that up in the actual final mini. But some of them, like this one, actually looks quite okay. Same with this. So it just, a little adjustments here and there. This is stuff I do, for instance, for Reggie Games still when it comes to their minis, just to make sure that, hey, these are going really good to the factory so that you can really streamline it. The more you can do that, this is like to any developer watching right now, the more you can fine-tune it now, trust me, it's cheaper than having the factory do it. It's better quality, you don't have as many back and forths, and it expedites the whole process a lot. While you got your sculptor on there, have somebody to look it over and make sure that it can actually print into a mini this big, as opposed to a really cool render. But that being said, these look freaking awesome. I love how different they all are, but still also kind of thematic too, whether it's the blades, whether it's the robotic Doc Ock tentacle kind of stuff. Either way, very cool. All right, so that is that one. And next up, we have Beast Slayers. 11 days to go, 133 backers. This is probably not going to get made. I doubt it's going to get the 47,000 goal that it even attempted. This is kind of frustrating. This is another indie game. And it looks like they've really tried to do it, right? So if we go all the way down to the bottom, I'm going to scroll up on this one. As you can see, this is actually like a real game that they've been trying to do and trying to make and, going to local game groups and, having people play it. And I think that's awesome. That's super cool, right? But one of the problems, and you see it right away, is that all of the art seems I make these claims and people are like, oh my gosh, you said an opinion. As far as I can tell, my personal opinion, disclaimer there, this looks really freaking AI, like heavy AI. It's got that little bit of like softness, a little bit of that kind of glow to it. It's obviously probably been like adjusted and stuff like that. I doubt it's, just like, shoot and forget prompt level stuff. So it's like better than like some of the Awakened Realms AI stuff that we've seen. They put a little bit more care into it, but still very much that, it's got that look, that style that you get often from that. And I think that's actually kind of hurt the presentation a lot. It just looks Like, this doesn't look like a card even. It just looks like I don't know. It's kind of hard. As you can see, they're showing how you play it. This seems like a really legit game that somebody's actually legitimately making, but they did the AI art thing, and I think it kind of hurts it a little bit. Just from a presentation standpoint, from a safety standpoint, from a consistency standpoint, sometimes even. It just tends to be how it is. So, yeah, that is kind of unfortunate that that's the case. This is, again, very much like the Terminus Frontier. They're both indie endeavors, but this one, the presentation isn't quite what the other one is. A lot of it is the whole text over, like, image like this. It just doesn't look good. So the actual, like, UI design of it is a little bit lacking as well. Just a little bit more rough around the edges, a little bit more uncertainty, a little bit less uniqueness compared to the other ones. So, it's kind of frustrating when this happens because often the act of making a game and selling a game are very, very different things, different skill sets. Some people have one, some people have another, some people have both. I will say that you can sell, as long as you can sell a game, you can sell a game. What you want is somebody who can sell a game and also make a game. Those are hard, right? There's a few developers that, like Lazy Squire Games, that are really good at selling games, not so much at making them. Unfortunately, that seems to be difficult for some of them. All right, next up, Star Trek Ascendency, The Final Frontier. These are now games that are coming out here. So this will come out like in a day and 9 hours. So really about 24 hours after I posted this. I thought about postponing this, but I really wanted to get this out here because of the 48-hour mark. And, you kind of judge where you put this in. But either way, this will be linked down there below. Go ahead and do that. And in fact, you can get the free gift now, too. So you're welcome. You're welcome. So Star Trek Ascendancy is a game that's been out. In fact, you can see a lot of the expansions here. A lot, right? This has like pretty much everything there plus new stuff, which is pretty cool. 7.8 on Board Game Geek. So that's pretty good. Especially if you're a Trekkie. I imagine if you're not a Trekkie, obviously the appeal is a little bit diminished here, but they are adding new stuff as well. So 3 new civilizations. You got the Gorn, which is classic, right? That's fun. You got the Tholian, which look like crazy cool, and then you have the like alternate universe Terran Empire, which is also quite fun. So yeah, pretty neat. I think that you get this kind of ultimate edition of the game, especially the long-lasting games. I like this kind of stuff with like DC deck building. Anytime these games that are like tried and true and well done have a much better version that you can get into it, I think that's great. So yeah, this will be coming out soon. Be interesting to see what the price is. All right, next up, the Megan 2.0. I have a Megan median table that I absolutely love. The quality of it is very well done, especially for the price. Because it's on GameFound, you can also do the like stretch pay kind of stuff. So it actually really does make board game tables affordable. I think Geek and Sun plus GameFound is a match made in heaven for that reason, because they make quality stuff that's not super overpriced, but at the same time isn't like cheap and crappy either, that have like really good quality materials and build and craftsmanship and all that kind of stuff. And again, now on Stretch Pay. So the Megan 2.0, pretty darn excited for this. I think it looks super cool. I don't know about this whole win a gaming table thing. I guess that's legal here and GameFound. I don't know. I don't know what all is involved in there. I'm sure it depends on where you live. But Stretch Pay, super awesome. Their stretch goals, by the way, really nice, because if you get one of these tables, it has like this rail system here. Really, what you want to do is get the accessories. It's the little token bins and the deck holders and all that kind of stuff that really, really helps clean up board gaming and just make it nice, right? And clean up the table a lot and keep things organized so it's not just a mess. So definitely cool that they get that, and they like deliver it, which is really, really cool as well. So yeah, definitely neat. I'm excited to see what's coming up with that. There's a lot of options. This is pretty much exactly how mine looks like. And yeah, it works quite well. Works very good. I don't have the LED, so that's looking like a lot of fun. The storage underneath there looks awesome. A table extension, very good if you're actually playing like tabletop games like Warhammer and stuff like that. Typically you're standing, so the taller chairs kind of help with that. Anyway, very, very cool. Excited to see that. Next up, we have Blasphemous, the board game. This comes out February 25th. There are some new things to show here, so I'm going to go ahead and jump to the bottom, and we're going to scroll up right? Just to kind of see some of the new stuff. I've shown this off a few different times. It's based off the video game. It looks pretty cool. These like little boss battle kind of areas are pretty neat. Looks like it's has little card holders there and stuff like that. Pretty neat, I think. That the boss fight's a little bit more tactical in that sense. That's kind of cool. Otherwise, you're going through a very abstract actual map, which is not necessarily the Metroidvania I thought it would be, but either way, this is, I mean, look at the potion. This is looking really pretty. I can tell you that much. Looking cool. All right, but you've seen this. So let's go ahead and go to this one. Here's one right here. Again, very cool. I love all the textures that they're doing. I love the like draping cloths and stuff like that. Looks neat. And in fact, if you see in the art, it doesn't even like necessarily have those. They've like added those just to make it look a little bit extra cool, right? Definitely looking awesome. Then you have this lady here, again, incredible. The fact that she's like kind of hovering there is very, very cool. The red wings, super awesome. The like half red, half like stone armor style kind of armor set that she has. Very, very cool. You have this guy here who, definitely crazy head here. I think that's super neat as well. I think it came out quite well, especially those like nails and stuff like that. Looking pretty cool. All right, I think you've seen most of these other ones. So yeah, anyway, very, very cool. I'm excited for this, guys. I think it's a very cool style. I think it plays to Ludus Manus Studios' hand very well. They very much enjoy these kind of style games, like kind of the gritty fantasy, and Blasphemous is right on par with that, so it looks pretty neat. Okay, next up, Gunpla miniature game, Gundam Assemble. This was just recently announced, and it's looking pretty darn cool, as you can see. What's not to like about a robot in space or on land or on a hex grid shooting laser cannons and having laser swords and shields and junk like that. The Gunpla is actually pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and swap here real quick because it's way easier to see that, but it actually should be in this light mode here to actually see some of the text. They're about 2 inches tall, and they do come, as you can see, where you need to build them. There is a little bit of a runner there. And in fact, it looks to me like it's not, you actually need to glue it together, too. It doesn't necessarily look like it fits. Well, maybe. I think I see a little post there. Perhaps it fits together. It's a little snap fit. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see. Either way, there's a lot of cool ones here. You see the tank and you see the sword. Very dynamic, very cool, as you can see right here. Very dynamic. Super cool. I'm excited to see what this is all about. It's looking pretty neat. Now, is it a good game? I don't know, but it looks a lot of fun, that's for sure. Okay, moving on. Oh man, gotta get rid of that light mode. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Whew. There. Okay. Huh. Scary. Okay, Reichbusters Reloaded. This is the next game, I believe. I don't know if it's the next one or not, but they at least put a GameFound page on it now. From Monolith, because Monolith bought the rights to Reichbusters. They've now added the Reloaded, where they're changing things up. Campaign price, €159, no retail, and they have changed a few things as well as, I believe, added a few things. This is actually really cool. I think this game had a lot of potential. In my review, I talked about how the card combos felt really powerful. You had these big surges of power, but like checking the noise and stuff like that was just really annoying. So I'm sure Monolith streamlined it. They're really big on like more streamlined rules for these kind of games. So I think it's going to play really well there. And of course, again, the minis look freaking awesome. So excited to see what all is involved here and what all is different. It looks pretty different, though. It really, really does. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they can treat Reichbusters well, because I know that Mythic Games was even designing new stuff that we never saw. Maybe we'll see that in the stretch goals. I don't know. We'll take a look. All right. Next up, Malediction. This is a little update here. They have a card IO deck builder, so you can actually build your own deck now, which is very cool to see. So yeah, I'll link down to this below too, so you can go ahead and put together your deck as you see fit, to kind of strategize a little bit, look it over. I think that's really great. I'm glad to see that they're really adding like very professional tools for the game. It's going to be big. I'm excited for it. That when you guys get this, you're going to see exactly how fun it is, because it is pretty cool. Anyway, that'll be linked down below as well. All right, next up we have Massive Darkness, Dungeons of Shadowreach 4 days left, almost 6,000 backers, almost 1.5 million raised. Massive Darkness continues to do very well for them. It's pretty much their new Zombicide. And yeah, it's, again, doing great. Over 1 million, which is not always the easiest to do nowadays. So they do have a 5e kind of compatible RPG stuff too, if that's what you want to do. It is very much a mix between the old and the new. A lot of the style is a lot more goofy, as you can see, so it does have that kind of the new silly style to it, but it does have some really cool classic fun stuff as well. So it's an interesting mix of art, I think, that's kind of come into its own somewhat. This looks like an 1.0 style kind of thing, right? Whereas some of these other ones look a bit more of the 2.0 style. So yeah, if you want whoever this guy is as the assassin, why not? A Chronomancer, Herbalist, Hunter. God forbid they have too many classes nowadays. But honestly, again, people love it. I really enjoyed the original one. One of my favorite games for a long time there. I've kind of evolved in my gaming style since then, where this isn't really necessarily what I go to or what I gravitate towards, but a lot of people still do. And $110, guys. They're still keeping that price at 110. They've been doing that for a while. That's actually not too bad. That's pretty cool. Now, that is just the core box plus the stretch goals and all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. $150, you get even more expansions and stuff like that. So there's a lot to love here, a lot to really enjoy, and a lot of gameplay. Guys, if you are into Massive Darkness, here's some more. If you are not, here's a good jumping in point. Either way, looking pretty darn cool. So yeah, definitely, I think a lot of people are excited for that. Again, almost 6,000 backers shows that they're doing something right. Even if it's not necessarily my top pick anymore, it obviously is a slam dunk for over 6,000 people almost at this point. Pretty darn cool. So 4 days left to go on that. That's impressive. Impressive. Okay. One update here. I didn't want to do a separate video for this. I try to do less videos but have them a bit more impactful. For this one, this is just showing that, yet again, Mythic Games is on its way out, right? They are still moving on out. So this is the latest one that, for instance, Leo is doing. This is another campaign that is jumping on the AI bandwagon, right? They're just kind of helping, use AI and stuff like that. I have no idea what exactly that means, but Voice of Fire SA is now their one of his kind of new endeavors. I'm going to stop updating on Leo. I think we could kind of move on from that, unless it's board game related. I've tried to stress this a lot, but it's kind of annoying because it just doesn't end. But it's pretty much ended. Mythic Games is not coming back. Leo is not coming back. They are doing other things. And you know what? That's fine. Please do other things. No more board games. And that's kind of what this is here. Just a real quick update there on that. I just wanted to, again, further make sure you guys know as viewers, it's over. It's over. Okay. This almost was its own video. I love the guys that do Middara. Succubus Publishing is what a Class A act. They continue to push a lot of game content, a lot of cool stuff. They've done a lot. They're doing a lot. This is what you're getting. Kind of, sort of. Look, this gives me anxiety just looking at it, like looking at a Euro 4X game does when you look at the board and there's like 18 different mechanics and they all act differently and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's busy and there's stuff everywhere and that's what this is. This is crazy. This really goes to show how much they have done. Look at this little Wave 2A, 2B, Wave 1, what the pledge level was, Middara 22 pre-order. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of game. I love them for it, but geez, that's crazy. I don't even know how to read this. But they were answering a very legitimate question that I have as well, which is what's left? Like what am I getting? So they're getting ready for the next wave of stuff. That's super cool. I'm excited for it. but it's going to be kind of a mystery. Like whatever comes at this point, right? Yeah, let me know what you think about these kind of big games like this. It's interesting because they always do the past stuff. If we go like to the Massive Darkness campaign, there's been a lot of Massive Darkness campaign over campaign over campaign, but they don't offer it all. But these kind of big narrative Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 stuff like what Middara is doing does tend to do that and then build onto it from there. And that's kind of what you're seeing here, is just it built over time. Recently, I started playing Path of Exile, both 1 and 2, but mostly 1. I'm waiting for 2's campaign to be over before I really dive into it, and it's kind of Dark Souls. But I'm really enjoying Path of Exile 1, like a lot, like too much, don't judge me. But I'm coming into a game that has years and years and years and years of development behind it, much like Middara. And when you get into that, it's just like any other MMO or anything like that, where you get into either a game system. I felt the same way with the DC Deck Builder, right? They could do the same thing here. They've been doing it for like 10 years. Which campaign is, which crossover one is this and that? It's a lot. It's a lot to go over, and it's a lot to figure out, a lot to learn. There's a fun enjoyment part of it that like the nerdy collector in me, and like I like to, oh, this new system here and this thing here, and I got this piece here, and that's always kind of fun, but at the same time it is a lot. I don't know if there's a good solution for it, besides not offering old stuff, but that's like the opposite of what I want from crowdfunding. I want those niche one-time, this is what you get, but at the same time I hate as a backer when you can't get the old stuff, right? So anyway, Middara, Succubus Publishing, you guys are crazy. Guys, that's it for my update today. If I missed anything, if you are looking towards anything, if you have any questions for me, if you want me to talk on anything, let me know in the comments below. I want to thank my Patreons and YouTube member supporters for supporting this channel. They really make this channel viable, where I can have a healthy balance between living my life with my family, covering indie games that aren't going to get all the coverage, covering the big things, talking the big points of like any kind of like controversy or anything like that, and even diving deep into them, like these long form videos like the Lazy Squire game video that I'm still working on. That is coming out soon, guys, and it's thanks to my patrons and YouTubers. So thank you, of course, for supporting. Link down below if you would like to continue to support the channel. I really appreciate it. If not, though, even a like or a comment helps a ton. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.